Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, June the 9th in the year 2026, and welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with Thom. Well, last week I traveled to my hometown, Birmingham, Alabama, for a playing card tournament, a bid whist tournament. It was fun, it was exciting. We had four teams, and there was a lot of SHIT talking, flying around the table, fun, food, and beer. My friend Henry Ford sponsored the evening. We were partners. We won way more than we lost. Bid whist is a game we had all grown up playing and still enjoy playing to this day. And I'm sure that we will do it again. The NBA championship game drew my attention. My friend Robert and I planned a trip to New York City, hoping we would be able to see the Knicks in person without having to pay $10,000 for a ticket. It was a great weekend. We were not able to secure tickets to the Knicks and Spurs in Madison Square Garden, but we were able to hang out at a great sports bar and enjoy the games with local Knicks fans who welcomed us and enjoyed hanging out with two men from the South. I didn't tell them I was for the Spurs, and so I couldn't cheer too loud whenever the Spurs did something good. While there, we went to Yankee Stadium to see the Yanks and the Red Sox. There was a little boy sitting next to us. I'm going to guess and say he was maybe 8 or 9. And that he had his baseball glove and he had his Yankees cap on. And every now and then he'd blurt out, "Let's go Yankees." And so we got to be friends with the little boy. He was great. It was a great game. The Yankees ended up winning. They made us stay to the end because the score was, what was it, 1-0 or something. And then this guy, Jazz, came up to bat, and Jazz had struck out 3 times. And Jazz sent one over the wall. And then the other two guys behind him sent 2 over the wall. And so the Yankees ended up winning. We caught a ride with Mamadou on the way back into town, and Mamadou's going to come pick us up tomorrow when we head out. It was a great weekend. We had a good time. And tonight we'll go to see Ragtime, and then hopefully I'll head home. So our show today, of course, is brought to you by the consulting firm of Best Girl. Let's hear from Best Girl.
Best Girl is a consulting firm that provides customized leadership, access and inclusion, public relations, communications, and organizational consulting services. Clients include Fortune 500 companies, utilities, higher education institutions, small businesses, and associations. Best Girl's team of consultants, led by Joyce Gilly-Gossam, Emily Hedrick, and Shawn Jones, partners with business and education clients to promote organizational effectiveness, communication, motivation, and leadership, with always an impact on the bottom line. Best Girl's customized consulting services include strategic planning, corporate communication, executive coaching, fundraising, and economic development.
Something I've been intending to correct is when we show that picture of the Best Girl team, Mychal's not in there, and Barbara Larkin, who is new with us, is not in there. And so we'll get that corrected. So they're certainly a part of the team, and didn't want anybody to think that they weren't. So Best Girl continues to customize the solution that fits your needs. So I think Shawn's got a minute for us. Good morning, Shawn. How are you this morning?
Good morning to everyone joining in with us. My name is Shantia Jones, and this has Got a Minute. Do you ever feel stuck? Yeah, me too. Sometimes we think we're stuck because we haven't arrived yet. But what if you're not stuck? What if we're simply in the middle? The middle is uncomfortable because it doesn't look like success yet. The middle may look like uncertainty, maybe questions without answers, possibly showing up before the results show up. The middle is applying for jobs before the offer comes. The middle is studying before the degree is finished. The middle is posting content before anyone ever watches. It's saving money before a vacation. And the middle is just simply becoming. Too many people quit in the middle because they mistake unfinished for failure. But every meaningful thing in life has a middle. The caterpillar, a student, an entrepreneur, you. So if today feels slow, messy, uncertain, or complete, don't panic. You may not be behind. You may simply be part of the story where growth is happening underground. Keep showing up, keep learning, keep building, and keep on believing. The next chapter isn't you asking for everything to be figured out, it's asking for you not to quit because light doesn't ask for permission to shine, it just does. So I hope all of you have a great day. And if you don't want to have a great day, then that's your prerogative. Thank you all for joining in. My name is Shantia Jones, and this has Got a Minute.
Thank you, Shawn. When you started talking about the middle, I thought you were getting ready to do that commercial for Illinois, the middle of everywhere, which is a fun little commercial that the state of Illinois has done. Anyway, we've got a roundtable today, so let's go to our roundtable discussion. Bring the team on, and we'll see what they got on their minds this morning. Okay.
Morning, TG. How are you?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning, Barbara Wallace Edwards. Maybe I come up with a new name,
How are
Wallace.
you all?
Doing well.
Wallace. I
Wallace.
accept that.
That'll be your new nickname, Wallace.
Yes,
Oh,
I accept it. Thank you.
what do you got, Barbara Wallace Evans?
First time I got a couple of things this morning, but I want to start by wishing my niece Jasmine a happy birthday. Jasmine normally watches us in the background. She's normally at work and sometimes can't join in the chat, but hopefully she's watching this morning. Happy birthday, Jasmine. Have a great day. And another thing that I wanted to bring up is I don't know if you all have Netflix, if you had an opportunity to watch this. There's a new show on Netflix called Nemesis. Great show. One of my cousins is one of the co-stars in the show, Matthew Law. So if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. It's an 8 episode series it's on in their first season. It premiered in May. I've watched it 3 times now, and I'll probably watch it again because it's that good. And they've already worked on the 2nd season, so hopefully Netflix will bring it back. When it's back, but it's an excellent show. If you had a chance to check it out.
Okay, I think we had a little trouble here and everything, but
Yes.
Oh,
we
wow.
got the
Okay.
gist of it.
Now you seem to be back.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mychal, what you got?
Well, TG, you in New York. You got a chance to go to the watch party at the game. Trump let you go see one, man?
Yeah, he did. He man, they blocked the streets off about 4 o'clock, and where we are, and you couldn't even, you were behind the barricade, so you couldn't really go on the other side of the barricade. We were on the side that allowed us to get to the garden. Fire trucks, police cars all up and down the street, and so I'm sure that made him feel important.
Well, it makes the residents of New York really angry because, they even had the prior games. They were able to have watch parties on the street. They had, portable screen set up and people were able to bring their chairs and sit and watch the game. And it was a big atmosphere there. And so New York are not very happy that Trump decided to come to this game and really disrupted everything for the residents there.
I agree. I mean, I think where we were, I don't know, the place was packed. It's full. As soon as they showed the picture of him, they just started booing.
Yes. And I think that's what happened at the game as well. people started out cheering for the young man that was singing the national anthem, but once they showed his picture on the Jumbotron, he started booing. They're not happy
There
that he was
was
there. They don't
when
like him there.
we went to the 9/11 museum and they showed some films, and one of the films they showed was when Obama was president, and when they put the deal together, the plan together to go get Osama bin Laden, and it was kind of a behind the scenes look, and the whole thing was just so different from what we see now from a president and his staff. Those people in that meeting were professionals. They were very intent on what they were doing. Nobody was, and until this film came out, nobody saw him on television or any of that. It was just it's a heck, and I guess that's maybe why he hates Obama so much, because he can never be what Obama is. So it was very. We learned a lot about 9/11.
Yeah.
And if you're in New York, you ever get a chance, you should go see it.
Yeah. Well, you're right about that, and it's funny that even when he's been given people that support him but that are competent, he somehow falls out with them regardless of who they are.
Oh, yeah.
And he's about to lose his chief of staff, Susie Wiles. She's suffering, I think, from breast cancer or something like that, but she has grown frustrated with him appointing people like Bill Pulte, the guy that tried to go after Letitia James in New York over the mortgage issue.
Right.
Yes. And the other
Yes.
woman with the FDIC here in Georgia. Well, it turns out that I think it was his father-in-law or relative of his did the exact same thing that he was trying to put these people in jail for. And so it just blew up in his face. And so, she's here saying, you're promoting these idiots and putting them in these places of national security because Trump now has recommended that this Pulte guy become head of CIA and 16 other agencies.
Mm.
And he was just a real estate developer from Florida. So
well, he was probably on television a lot, though. If he was on television, hell, he can get a job. Well,
I guess so.
95% of the people he's appointed and put in positions hadn't been successful in those areas that he's trying to place them in. They have no experience.
Criteria is are they loyal to him?
They're loyal to him. That's it. That's all.
Yes.
That is all.
And that's what they said.
That is
Susie Wiles is upset with it, said that she's tired of these ultra magna loyalists being appointed to positions and stuff. So the few people that he have that are really good are trying to move out. And, and they say that Trump is getting to the point where he's saying that she doesn't tell me what to do. So now he wants to go after her and try and prove that she can't boss him around and stuff like this. Okay. And that was the main reason she was brought there, to protect him from himself. But now he's losing it. So there's no telling what's going to happen.
Yeah. He is a loser, Michael. I don't know if y'all saw that interview he did with young lady on Sunday, Meet the Press.
Oh, I saw that.
Horrible.
That was horrible.
It was horrible.
That was just so disrespectful, and he called her stupid.
Very much so.
And
yes,
I just wish somebody could just knock the shit out of him when he says stuff like that. You don't treat people like that.
No, not at all.
I didn't hear it. Did you say that he called her stupid? Is that what I heard?
Yes,
Okay.
he did.
He called her stupid and something else.
Okay.
Because he would raise all these accusations, and she would say, well, where's the proof? Do you have any substantial evidence to prove that? And of course, he doesn't have any. And so that upset him.
Right.
The fact that he didn't, he couldn't just have his way and throw something out and she would accept it.
Right.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah, Mychal, you need to go, if you get a chance, go check it out, because it was horrible. He was he started leaning forward in the chair and his face turned red, and he eventually just got up and said, "I had enough of this. I've had enough of this," and just walked off.
Yeah. Wow.
And she traveled all the way to where he was just, to have this interview. And then he quit because he just couldn't compete.
Well, he had an off ramp. Okay. You got reelected. Leave 2020 alone. Quit talking about people stealing the election. And just do what you can do. Okay. Just take care of business. But he brings all this on himself. And so if you keep bringing up stuff that everybody knows is false, they want to know why you keep saying it. Okay.
But you know why, Mychal?
Right. They want to know what you're basing this on. And he didn't have anything to say what he's basing on. And so she kept pressing him on that, and he got pissed off.
Right. But they're always trying to deflect. That's what narcissists do. They deflect. And so he's not doing anything for the country that's positive. He don't want to focus on the negative things he's doing, so he tries to focus on something else that he deems negative that others have done. And they're in the past. Biden's out of office. Obama's not in office. He's been gone for a long time now. So, but he keeps bringing back, what Obama did and what Sleepy Don, who goes to sleep in every meeting, every press conference. They even showed him in the box last night. I think he appeared to have fallen asleep at the game last night.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yes.
Anyway, Derek Coleman, Mychal, you may remember him. He was an American NBA player.
Yeah, Derek Coleman.
Yes, from Mobile.
Mobile.
Yes.
He was selected first overall in the 1990 NBA draft by the New Jersey Nets. He ended up with averaging 17 points a game and 9.3 rebounds. He recently declined his Mobile Sports Hall of Fame induction, saying he could not accept the honor while Black voters face diminished representation on the newly approved congressional maps. He says, we cannot settle for silence. We must continue to organize, mobilize, vote, challenge unfair maps, and demand fair representation at every level. Democracy will not fall on our watch.
I love it. That's
Thank
you, Derek Coleman. Yes.
We sort of touched on that when we were talking about the college kids, but this is a guy who's been through all that and who now says, no, you're not going to honor me, and then you're going to disenfranchise the voters. Right. That doesn't make sense.
But see, he can come at it from a different angle than the college kids coming up.
Right.
In other words, he has his platform, and there's nothing that they can do to harm him, really. Okay, he doesn't put anything at risk. And when I say that, I'm not talking about personal representation. I'm talking about just his ability to survive day to day. Whereas a kid coming in, they have to be a little bit careful. But I agree with him, and he's right on point. Absolutely. They have to be challenged. And it's interesting that you bring that up, Thom, as this young man over in Mississippi that was, I think he was in Mississippi. He was up for death row, but the Supreme Court sided with him and decided to send it back down because they discovered that there was racial prejudice in the jury selection. He's from an area that is 40% Black. They only had one Black person on a jury of 12 members. And this was a situation where he was, like you can be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was with another person that actually pulled the trigger and harmed this other person. But and he was under 18 at the same time, but he also got charged for it and whatever. And so they had him on death row and stuff. And he really did not participate in doing that. He was at the place, guilt by association, as they say. But
Yes.
think about being in an area like that where it's 40% minority, but you get a jury of 12 and you only get one black person.
Well, that used to be the standard in Alabama.
Right.
On the black belt, I mean, hell, it'd be hardly no black folks on the jury.
Right.
Uh,
And the recent case, I don't know, it's in Texas, where the young man that's in high school stabbed someone in self-defense, and his trial was over the weekend. I haven't heard the outcome, but the jury was all white, and how is that fair?
That's an interesting case. I don't know all the particulars about that. Do you, Tom? You know all the particulars about that?
no, I thought you were going to say that was an interesting question. But go ahead.
I can't remember the name. I had to go back and look up his name, but it was
Yeah.
in the news. He's a high school student, great student that had no problems, no past history with problems with the law. He was attacked by another student. They were at a track meet, and he went over to the other team's track under their tent, I think, because it started raining or something, and another young man who was white attacked him, and to defend himself, he had a knife and he stabbed him. And so they're saying that he killed him, it was premeditated because he had the knife and all of this, but he said no, it was all in self-defense. And like I said, the trial was held over the weekend. I don't know if maybe it's still going on, but I didn't get a chance to follow up to see how it turned out. But again, the jury is all white in this day and age. That's just unusual. The young man, of course, is black. The person he stabbed was white.
Yeah, you're supposed to be a jury of your peers, but
peers, yes.
It kind of goes out the window in certain cases. You don't have peers, so in situations. Right. Speaking of sports, what about Nick Saban going before Congress and talking to them about NIL and putting some guardrails in place and regulating it and how much money the people are spending? I've heard good and bad. A lot of people respect Nick Saban. He's earned their praise and their respect. And he made a lot of great points about it. Some of the things we talked about before about the cost, how it continues to elevate and stuff, and all the negative stuff with it. But other people are saying it's kind of ironic that it's him doing it, because now that everybody else can do what Alabama had been doing all along and it was okay, now there's a problem, and he's speaking about correcting it. So right. I find that pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
It was illegal to do that stuff. Well, they didn't do that, did they?
Yes, they did.
Let me say good morning to my good friend, Pat Addington. She's here with us this morning. Good morning, Pat. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad you're back with us. Hopefully I'll get to see you soon. Thanks for being with us. One of the other things that we did is while we've been up here, is we went for a walk one day and we passed by this park, big park, and really nice. They had a lot of nice parks and stuff here. And just the diversity amongst the people, ethnicity-wise, is pretty incredible. But there was a chess tournament going on in this park between maybe 8 and 9 years old. And there was at least 100 kids out there playing chess. And it was just wonderful to see. Just great that they all could get out there and do it. So I don't know who sponsored the tournament or whatever, but it was something I had not seen before. And I mean, it was over 100 kids playing chess.
And it was a chess tournament?
Yeah, it was a chess tournament. And I don't know who sponsored it or whatever, but that park was full of young kids playing chess.
That's
I had
great.
played chess a long time 8 and 9 years old to be able to play it at a high level is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It is impressive.
What park was it, Tom?
So, Barbara, you made it back, huh?
I hope so. I had to switch over to Tom's computer. He had to come in and move me from one end of the room to the other end, which
Yeah.
is fine. I don't have no idea what happened. I kept
Well,
going in. I know I was like a little blinking light, I'm sure.
Well,
Yes.
Joyce, there's something that you do. I don't know. She did it when mine was going in and out these last couple of weeks or so ago. She did something with it. I'll ask her and get that information to you. But it was
Okay.
somehow or another how the signal was coming in, and I
Mhm.
was on the
Oh,
wrong.
okay.
Sometimes computers just have their own brain, and
They
they
do.
just they just change. You got it on A, and they changed to B, and you
Right.
didn't do you don't know how it happened.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
So true. So true.
That's
um,
that
I
AI, that machine learning
Yeah,
capability.
that's kind of scary, Michael.
it
And
is, isn't it?
yeah,
It is.
that's where this stuff is going, and that's
Yes.
where you have some of these CEOs of these AI companies, like the one is it Anthropic that backed out of the government contract with the Trump administration because they wanted to use it in warfare over there,
Can you
and they were
imagine?
saying, no, that's not what this is for, and we cannot
Oh,
give
right.
you that. So they backed out of the contract. And they were saying that they wanted to have them at the table, think tank, so to speak, to help figure out how to regulate and impose, a way to actually implement artificial intelligence and stuff. But actually, they wanted to be able to use it so that they could go into these like artificial warfare type things over there. And they said, no, you're not going to use this in Iran. So it's going to be interesting about how we go about that. And there is some concern from that. You've got to, and this guy said that you only need to go so far. You still need human intervention to make judgment calls, okay,
Right.
and to do critical thinking. AI is not an
Mhm.
end all to be all to replace humans. It's a tool to be
Right.
used. You got to limit that stuff as to just how far you want it to go.
Right.
so if you're talking about critical thinking, then we need to remove some of the people in the White House.
A lot of
That,
them,
that
And the
would
all
help.
State
of
House
them,
too.
That would help
and the state. You're right,
tremendously.
Barbara.
You're
Yes,
so
Well,
and the
right.
state house as well.
yeah. Well, actually, the guy that was in charge of that for Trump just quit the other day because of misalignment on how to use AI and regulate, and he had been crafting. He just walked out.
What's
So
misalignment a synonym for? Being stupid?
That's
Uh,
one of them.
Barbara Pitts is on with us this morning. Good morning, Barbara. Thank you. Barbara said the podcast is the only reason that I am up so early. I used to sleep much later. So
Well,
kudos, TWT team.
Thank
we're a
you,
special
Barbara, for
group, no
joining
doubt.
us. Yes,
yeah.
we are.
Thank you.
Anything else from anybody?
I want to ask a question because I've missed a lot, but you were talking about a park. I assume it's in New York
Yes.
where students were playing chess. Do you remember if it was
Yes.
Bryant Park?
I don't remember. I don't remember the name of it.
If it was Bryant Park, it would be just down the street from the public library.
Okay.
And they have, when I'm there, we usually walk down to Bryant Park because continuously there are games of chess, bid whiz, and checkers going on in that park. And the thing that made it so special for me, and I think if you go back again, please go by there, the library rolls in books on shelves, sets
Yeah.
up umbrellas, and they roll in newspapers so people who come to the park have access to a beautiful environment in the park and at the same time good books and good newspapers to sit and have lunch. It's just an inspiring situation. I love
Really
it.
is. And the,
Yeah.
Good.
the
That
different
is good.
ethnicities are inspiring as well.
Yes.
People
Yes.
from, I'm not going to say they're from all over the world because they're probably from the United States. If you live in certain areas, you only see certain people. So,
Right.
yeah, if it's the same park or if it's a different park, it was amazing.
I'm
Just
sure it was.
the number of children
Hmm.
who were playing. Chess ain't not an easy game.
No, it's not.
It's not
I
strategy.
was
Yes.
playing that game. It was great. There other than the traffic, there's just a lot of neat stuff that goes on up here. We've enjoyed it. This is our third trip. Our first trip we went to Memphis, and, hung out on Beale Street, went to see the blues clubs, went to Elvis's place and all that. Our second trip was phenomenal. We went to Oklahoma because Oklahoma has 69 Native American tribes.
Hmm.
We visited several of the reservations. We went to a powwow, which you're not supposed to call it a powwow. There's a formal name for it that I can't remember. Um, and it was just incredible. I learned a lot. And Mickey Mantle was part Native American. Johnny Bench was part Native American. They didn't tell us any of that stuff when we were in school, and so it's been great. So this trip we decided to do New York, and I don't know what we'll do next, but
That's great.
so anything anybody else has.
Did you all hear about people Bryson passing away last week?
Yes.
75 years old. We lost another
How
icon
old
in the
was he?
music industry.
75.
75.
Peebo 75.
Ebo look
Yes.
good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Peebo's
All right.
looking good. Peebo had a 9-year-old son, I think,
Oh,
a
really?
child. So, yes, he remarried, and his wife was 30 years younger than him. But yeah, he also had a 9-year-old. But
Wow.
our
Do you
condolences
think
to the
it
family.
matters that she was 30 years younger than him?
No, it really does.
I'm not
But
coming at you. I'm just asking you because
the fact that
that's an
the
issue
fact that
that's
he had a
raised.
9-year the
That's what
fact that
started
he had
with
a 9-year-old child is, it's like, okay, that was startling. And I had to look back to
me.
see, how old was his wife? Because I'm thinking she couldn't be in her 70s too. And,
Mm-mm.
so I went back to look to see how old she was, and she was 30 years, his junior. So, yeah, but I don't think that matters. Love doesn't matter what age, as long as you're legal age, two people can do whatever they want to do,
Okay, good
whatever
deal.
makes them happy.
I
Yeah.
hear you. Anybody got anything else?
I would just want to say there's good news for coffee drinkers. I'm not a coffee drinker, but for a lot of people who are, there's some good news that came out of Texas A&M's research. They said that drinking coffee that is brewed, um, could possibly help in the aging process, helping to eliminate inflammation and stress. And this is just preliminary research, but they said that it's encouraging that since it's one of the number one beverages around the world. I mean, people drink coffee all over the world. That it's encouraging to know that coffee has this kind of an effect on the body and on the mind. So they're going to continue their research at Texas A&M, but they found this very encouraging. And they said tea also contains some of the same elements as coffee, but that's for some other research. They're focusing on coffee right now. So continue to drink your coffee, and hopefully it'll de-stress and reduce inflammation. Yeah.
And Barbara, that's interesting because you've always heard that caffeine is not good for you. So,
Hmm.
but they make a distinction between decaf and caffeinated coffee?
They did not. They were simply talking about the brewed coffee activates this receptor called NR4A1, and it involves the stress response, inflammation, metabolism, and tissue repair. So I think
Hmm.
that further, my thought, it's not mentioned in the report, but my thought it would be caffeinated because that's mostly what people drink.
Right.
And I think that they'll probably have to do a caffeinated and a decaffeinated study to determine whether
Right.
there's any major difference between the two. But it would be great news
Okay.
if it didn't make any difference.
Right. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I just learned I'm a little bit behind, but I didn't realize that they were going to have what is it, a UWF wrestling boxing match
Oh,
at the White House thing?
on the front
At the
lawn.
White
Oh
House,
my
Yeah.
on the front lawn.
Oh, they've already put the stuff up.
Right,
Yeah.
Looks like a
that's what I saw yesterday. That's the first time I'd seen it.
It's
looks like a
embarrassing.
circus out there. It's totally embarrassing.
On the
Totally
White
embarrassing.
House, on the White House lawn,
On
and
the
have
front.
a WWE wrestling match. That is just so.
Well,
And
but
they
and
have the
I,
nerve to call other people ghetto. I that's the part I don't understand.
Wait a minute. Let me
How
tell you how
ghetto
ghetto
can you
this is.
be?
It's so
Whatever.
ghetto that they announced that the tickets were going to be free. So okay, all the riffraff is coming out, but the front row seats are going to be the packages are going to be $1 million each. But so
well,
it's
he's
going
part of
to be it's going to be a zoo. It's going to be a zoo.
he's
All the
part of
animals.
part owner. He invested money in the group, so
Yes.
that's
Yes.
that's almost criminal. But
It is. Everything
he
he
is
does is
criminal.
criminal.
But
Everything
can
he
you
does is criminal.
you will really get to see his personality because that kind of fighting, I mean, there are almost no rules. It's like a cockfight, You're out there, blood's flying everywhere. Instead of feathers, you've got people knocking each teeth out. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I just
I
love the
don't know.
color commentating.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
know if they can get
horrible.
much worse than that. That is horrible. I mean,
Can you
again, everything the
imagine?
man touches,
Can you imagine the international news?
they're laughing. We're the laughing stock of the world right now. Our country is the dollar is losing value daily. We're the laughing stock. People think Trump is incompetent, which he is.
Poor
It's embarrassing.
And his Freedom 250 or whatever that was that he had planned for the 4th of July,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
that has fallen flat on his face.
Flat,
Where all
totally
the
flat.
artists are withdrawing and backing
Right.
out. And he got mad and said they weren't good artists in the first place.
Anyway,
then why did you
and
invite
I
them?
and I
And
heard
he
that some
said
of the
he's gonna have a
WWE
rally.
fighters are that some of the WWE fighters also backing out.
Oh, really?
Have you
Oh
heard
my
that?
goodness.
Yeah, I've heard that yesterday. That some of them are now saying that they're not going to participate. So
Now I
who
can
knows
tell
what's
you
going on?
what would really bring all the people out, and you don't have to have those WW fighters. Put Trump and Hestef in the ring. Let them fight it out. Now I would buy a ticket to that.
But they're on the same side. They're
Yeah,
both
yeah, they're not
on the
going to
side
fight
of
each
the
other.
incompetence.
Look here, look.
Yeah,
All you got to do is have him say something that Trump doesn't like, and all of a sudden you got to fight. You got to fight. Just ask him. Just ask him about something personal, like how many hamburgers did you eat this week, or something like that. He'll go off. It is.
I got a better one. I mean, why don't
What's
we
the
put
better
him
one?
with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Put
Oh
him and Marjorie
yes,
in the
that would be
ring together.
yes.
Yeah,
That would be the mega fight. Yeah,
yeah,
right there.
yeah. She's no longer MAGA, but
Right,
she's like
she's not.
she's
But
changed. She saw the error of her ways.
too late almost, really.
And speaking of which, I'm hearing that a lot of the rural vote, which is where he was really strong, they are feeling very much disenfranchised by
Of
him,
course they are.
and they are beginning to turn as well.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mm.
it's it's interesting though. I wonder how they were able to not see this for so long, and
Right.
now that they see it. I'm just
Because it's
trying
a
to figure out the
because it's
dynamics.
because it's impacting them now, Michael. When they go to the
Yes.
grocery store, buy
Go.
gas, and when they look at their insurance rates and their mortgage, rent, everything's going up. Everything's going up. This war that he entered for no reason other than because Netanyahu told him to, of course, so his family can make tons of money. Uh, Everybody else in the U.S. is hurting. in the rural areas especially are being hit. Hospitals are being closed in their areas because they can't afford to stay open any longer. So it's impacting people, and I think it's finally some of them are coming to the realization that he's just not good for our country.
And you're right, Barbara. And we were talking, Tom and my Tom Larkin and I were talking to some of our relatives who live in West Alabama. They do not have access to a hospital in that part um, of West Alabama where they live, so they must go to Mississippi to go to the hospital. So um, Tom was saying to his relatives, well, um, why don't you bring the patient over to UAB? Okay, that's a 2-hour drive, but she would be seen immediately. If she went to Mississippi, she has to wait 2 weeks before she can be seen. That's how crowded it is over there. That's how bad it is because people don't have the transportation to drive to Birmingham. And it's just as bad or maybe even worse now than it was in the 40s because people didn't have it those hospitals that they used to have in the 40s. So now here we are back to that same place for West Alabama. It's a sad situation.
I
It's
mean,
hard. It's
it's hurting
difficult.
even some of the metropolitan areas, and thinking in Montgomery, Jackson Hospital is at jeopardy of being closed. I think they're talking about possibly closing this month because they don't have
Really.
the funding that they need. Right? Yeah. So it's people are feeling it.
Stay healthy, my friends. I,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds like y'all are winding down. Anybody got anything else?
Well, I
Yeah.
want to say one last thing.
We got it
Um,
one at a time.
oh,
Okay.
okay, Michael, go ahead.
Time. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay. Um, Let me ask you guys a question. What do you think is the age that an individual of advanced age should stop driving a vehicle?
I think it depends on the individual.
I think so
Mm-hmm,
too. I think it depends on the individual.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I understand. Well, a 108-year-old woman just had her driver's license renewed until 2033.
Mm,
And she works out three times a
2033.
day.
Okay.
Yes, she's 108 years old
Mm-hmm.
now. So this is 2026. And she just had them renewed till 2033.
Wow.
Does she
So
still
she's still
drive?
driving.
Her
Yes.
reflexes are pretty good. All I got to say is make sure she can see well and hear well.
Yeah,
Right.
she's still driving, and she goes to a kind of like a YMCA for adults
Hmm.
and stuff.
Mhm.
And she go there like 3 times a week and work out and just stay active and stuff. And she says that's what's really kept her going and keeping her mind sharp and her reflexes.
Mhm.
Good.
But
That's
you
great.
find a lot of times when people advance in age, and you got it right. It's no set age. Basically, it's all depending on the individual. But people end up having to try to take or having to take their senior loved ones keys and stuff like that. They're not able to
Right.
continue to
Yeah.
be independent.
And like Tom said, I think it totally depends on the individual because there's some people in their 50s who have lost that ability to
Yeah.
think and drive and see, and they're trying to do too many other things.
Multitask.
And so they're probably more uh, likely to have an accident or cause an accident than someone that's 100 years old that's paying attention and following the laws and the rules. And so I think it just depends on the individual.
And
Yeah,
teenagers are notoriously, especially male teenagers, they have the highest insurance on automobiles when they start to drive because now they're saying it's when a teenager is in the car with his or her peers, the music goes up, the attention span is distracted, all of those things happen. So, a young person can be as dangerous behind the wheel as someone who cannot see well. Then you've got people who are on medication, they didn't take it or they took too much, or, it's just so there's so many factors. So many factors. Yeah.
true, true.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of gas.
No, well,
I'm
I
never out
got
of
something
gas.
else. Never. We can
I
keep
got
talking
more.
forever. I do too. Go ahead, Barbara, if you have something
Have you
else.
all talked about the Auburn board, the board of trustees?
No,
Barbara, that's yours. I'm gonna let you do
no,
that one.
you go right ahead. You can
Well,
start.
I'm gonna let you take that one. I'm gonna talk about Barcelona. That was the one I wanted to talk
Okay.
about. Tom and I
Well,
were in Spain the year before last, and Barcelona has this world-renowned basilica called Sagrada Familia, and they have been working on this for 144 years. They have finally, in January or February, put up the last topmost crown or cross on that crown and cross on that building. And so it is going to be dedicated on Wednesday of this week by the Pope, Pope Leo, to come and bless the building. It is the most beautiful architectural structure of a church that I've ever seen in my entire life. But it has been worked on for 144 years, and finally they have finished the outside of it, but there's still more work to do on the inside. So this is a huge thing international, and if you haven't been to Barcelona to see it, I have photographs. It is amazing. Yeah, quite
I heard
amazing.
something about that. I did.
yes.
Hmm.
But why did it take so long? Did they just different things and just stop and didn't work on it and what have you?
Wars. There was a war, the Spanish War that happened. The original architect, whose name is um, oh, Andre, I've forgotten how to pronounce his last name. Um, he, um, all of his architectural designs were destroyed. They were destroyed, so he had to redo everything. And then finally, one day, probably 10 or 20 years, 10 years later, he was walking down the street in Barcelona, and somebody killed him with a car. And so they had to go and get all of his drawings together and begin to pull it together to finish out what he was doing. So between wars, between funding, between um, neighborhoods protesting against him building this huge edifice, so many, many things have come into place. When we were there, the neighborhoods were just protesting because they said that the building was encroaching on their living space and they couldn't get the sunlight, all those kinds of things. So it's been a lot of things over the last 144 years, but it seems like this is the last finishing outside touch. So it's a beautiful beauty. You can see the Bible depicted almost in total around that whole exterior of the building. That's how beautiful and detailed it is. Yeah, it's lovely.
Okay.
Barbara.
Well, I shared this article with you all about the Auburn University Board takes full circular control and dissolves the faculty senate on last week. I want to get y'all's thoughts on that because it's hard to believe that the university senate has just totally been dissolved, and the faculty will have no input into course offerings, curriculum, degree requirements, academic credentialing. Um, I don't really understand why, other than some people just want to take full control. But what are y'all's thoughts about that? Anybody?
I don't really well, tell me this before I can answer that question. The Senate has been around for a long time, right?
A long
And
time.
they have what kind of change have they effect from being in that position?
What does
Well,
the Senate do? Tell us what
well
the
the
Senate, what they did, what
the
they do.
Senate has input. They're like an advisory board, so they basically have input on course offerings, what makes up a curriculum, the faculty syllabus, degree requirements. So they make recommendations to the board regarding those type of things. The board, I think, has to eventually approve all of that, but at least they had input. Now they're just cutting all of that out, saying that the faculty has no input, no decision making. The basis of it is all built around the House Bill 540, which is the Alabama House passed, which basically puts requirements in there trying to remove DEI anything related to history, that some people don't like. They don't want to include it in the curriculum at Auburn, and so that's the basis of it all. That's where it all started. It doesn't go into effect until October, and it doesn't necessarily affect the university, this House
It
bill,
doesn't. You're
but
right.
the interpretation of some, because I think it works in their uh, and sort of in the way they were thinking that the university should go, they made that change, and they did it purposely. I think after school was out, after campus was almost empty, most of the faculty's not on campus. They didn't give them any type of voice. It wasn't like a discussion and ask for their input. They just did it. So
And
to me,
mhm.
that's done backhanded. I think it will change the way the university decides what to teach, what courses to offer, what degrees to offer, um, and basically it affects the professor's tenure. They can, if there's someone that goes against the indoctrination of the board, they can actually be fired, whether they're tenured or not. So all of those things matter.
And also it affects accreditation.
It does. It
Because
can.
the policy, part of that policy is that no external standard, recommendation, norm, action, or process shall limit the board's authority over the institutional curriculum. So that basically says that SACS, known as the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission out of Atlanta, they require that the faculty have primary responsibility for the content, quality, and effectiveness of the curriculum, but the board is taking that away. But the other thing that is so amazing to me is that in reality, this law, House Bill 580, really does not apply to Auburn University and the University of Alabama because their governing structure is within the Alabama Constitution, not in a House bill. So
Right.
again, as Barbara said, why are they doing this overreach as some other states have done to quickly change the trajectory of the university, especially when the agenda was not put on their page until early that morning when they were meeting. There was no discussion by the board. It was just unanimous, and that was it. It was done
There was there
like
was no
boom.
public discussion. There was no
That's right.
public discussion. Had to be
That's
some discussion, but yeah,
yeah.
no public discussion
Well, they just said it was no discussion
in the
in the
meeting.
yeah in
Right.
the meet in yeah, it
Right.
just said yeah, there was no discussion. It was just the two policies passed unanimously without discussion, and it mimicked what the House bill will require for other public institutions that'll take in October. So, this is what was in that article, and it's just so telling of what a group of people want this university to be as well as on the university. It's something that we really need to take note of. And it's going to be interesting to see how the faculty respond to this because their hands were tied. They had no input.
They are already responding. There's an article that came out yesterday saying that the faculty, and even former students are coming forward and speaking out about it. There's an Auburn class of 2021. He said, I have first professors and instructors that for the most part were excellent in their field of study. Dissolving the faculty senate is an attempt to have more control over curriculum will diminish the value of an Auburn degree. And I totally agree with that.
Well, I'm sure it would be challenged. I wouldn't be
I
surprised
would
if they're
think
not
so.
finding a way to challenge that, because I don't know how a board is going to decide what the curriculum is if they're not professors. It just doesn't make sense. So it'll be
I
interesting
agree.
to see how that turns out.
Well,
Great.
part of that ultimatum was that there were two policies. The second policy gave the board, quote, ultimate authority over the curriculum, course offerings, and degree requirements. So those kinds of words and phrases, um, without it being defined based upon the body who was
Yeah, it's too
empowered.
broad. It's too broad.
It is extremely broad. So there are going to be a lot of questions. I agree, Michael. There are going to be a lot of questions. There may even be lawsuits. I don't know, but there's going to be definitely kickback from the faculty, I think, as a body, as opposed to just an individual opinion. But those individual opinions are very important. Yeah, because
Yeah.
without faculty and without students, there's no university.
True. Yeah. 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 And then the fact that Auburn is a state school too, so that brings
Right.
in other state laws, and then also we get federal laws.
How many people on the board of trustees?
Hmm.
No,
Was it?
No,
I don't know. For some reason, I thought 12, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think
You
it's
may be
more than
right.
12.
I don't remember.
I think it's
Is
more
it?
than 12.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be
All
interesting.
righty. Anybody got anything else? All right. Well, thank you. Let me close this out. Or as I see it, I can honestly say I gave up on politics a few years ago. I mean, I still study the issues and I know the candidates and I follow both the national politics, which stinks, and local politics, which has a greater effect on my life. But on the national scene, what is happening today is greed and taking hold of sensible thinking. With immunity for his actions, whatever he does, the current president does what he wants and threatens anyone who doesn't agree to his whims. Thus, you have universities forgetting their missions and bowing down and forcing changes that are, in my opinion, not in our best interest. Unqualified individuals who feel they can be governor, quote, Tommy Tuberville, because big money boys want to reward him for being a good teammate in the quest for greed. Will Alabama ever turn it around? Will we always be 49th and 50th in all the critical categories that matter in terms of life? My opinion, not with Tuberville in charge. And that's our show for today. Thank the audience. We appreciate you. Thank our G-List guests. Thank our sponsor, Best Girl Inc. Thanks again to the TWT team, Barbara, Shawn, Emily, Mychal, Joyce, and the other Barbara. And as always, a special thanks to you, the audience. And that's it for this June 9th in the year 2026. Remember, a day without a smile is a day wasted. You got an extra smile, give it to somebody. It just might make their day. Enjoy yourself. Make every day count. Don't let a day go by that you don't take the time to make your life or somebody else's life better. Stay safe. Blessings. Peace.